Hello everyone, AJ here. So while I'm still hard at work with my next video, I felt like I just had to do something a little different and talk about the series finale of Wander over Yonder. Do bear with me, this is minimum editing, this was just me having seen it, this is just me giving my impression. I got a few notes jotted down here, but for the most part I'm just going to speak what's on my mind, do minimum editing, and probably just put whatever song I got in my library on in the background. Okay, so let's talk about this, because yeah, Wander Over Yonder is over. I mean, first Gravity Falls and now this show. Which, for those of you who don't know, Wander Over Yonder, I guess the best way to describe it is think Dr. Seuss in space, in which this main character, Wander, essentially travels around the galaxy trying to spread happiness and joy, all being pursued by various villains. It's definitely a weird show, and not one that you can probably get as into right away as with Gravity Falls or My Little Pony, but at the same time, it's really good. Not surprising, since the same person who did this also created the Powerpuff Girls. So, what do we got with this series finale? Well, throughout this whole season of their lives, inside joke of the show, the heroes are at their wits' end as the main villain this season, Dominator, has set out to destroy the entire galaxy, and has succeeded all except for one planet, which has now led our heroes to the choice of to either destroy Dominator or let the universe burn, since she's pretty much just a villain, kind of like a combination of the Joker and Firelord Ozai. There's no redeeming qualities about her, she just wants to destroy everything. So, pretty much it's kind of like a similar conflict to Avatar: The Last Airbender series finale, in which Wander, being the optimistic do-gooder, doesn't want to destroy Dominator, yet it's really coming down to either her or them. Yet despite this, he wants to do everything in his power to find the peaceful path, the one where he doesn't have to destroy her but finds the best in her. It was honestly kind of heartbreaking at some parts just to see him struggle trying to find the best way to solve this, to figure out how to save the galaxy without having to destroy Dominator. And then you got Dominator herself, who easily one of my favorite non-redeeming villains ever. It was kind of interesting to see her throughout this season. Like, there's even this one episode where she kind of does hanging out coincidentally with the hero kind of deal, you know, where the hero doesn't know it's a villain. And at first you were kind of thinking, okay, so this is probably just going to go the route where she hangs out, we realize that she just wanted a friend, yada yada yada. But instead, that episode ended with her being like, you know what, I don't need friends. Friends are stupid. Friends just don't do whatever you want to do. I just want to be evil for evil. And honestly, it was kind of heartbreaking, as well as was in this series finale. I won't go too definite spoiler territory, but all I can really say is, as much as I was loving to hate her, I also couldn't help but feel sorry for her. Just seeing this person who had no redeeming qualities and for almost no reason wanted to be a villain, and seeing how they ended it with her. Well, again, I won't spoil it too much here. Although basically that's what I really did love about this series, the villains. Much like the Powerpuff Girls, I felt myself I had more invested in them than I would with the hero, especially with Lord Hater and what they did with him. And Lord Hater was always my favorite part of the series, and whenever he was in this finale, it was at its finest. He was funny, well-paced, you really felt for him and cheered, and you just wanted to see him win after all he'd been through with Dominator, basically going through a crush and ultimately having his heart broken. It was a really satisfying ending. Although it did kind of leave off at the point where there might have been another season, for the most part, since it's really where it all ends, I'd be okay with it. Still a little disappointed, but again, it was satisfying. It started off strong and ended with a bang. I may go a little more into details if I ever do a collab on this with a couple of friends of mine, but for the most part all I can really say is, if you haven't seen this series yet, check it out. You might be pleasantly surprised.